Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me. I'm the Mark of the Masters, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA Impact today. Impact 10/3/2013. Ladies and gentlemen, Bound for Glory is around the corner, but the story today is not Bound for Glory. The story today is what I actually felt over the last few years was actually the problem with TNA wrestling. See, TNA wrestling this night was not really focused on the action. The main event was a good main event, but that wasn't the main event of the evening. See, TNA has been focusing a lot on Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan has been so involved in so many storylines. And let me get this straight off the back really quickly before I start this recap. Hulk Hogan is the Muhammad Ali, to quote Andre Corbeil, my good buddy from the Can-Am Connection show, Can-Am Wrestling show. Hulk Hogan is the Muhammad Ali of professional wrestling. He is my favorite all-time wrestler. He is my favorite performer in that ring. I'm not talking about physical performance. I'm talking about all-time favorite wrestler. It's Hogan. Hogan has done amazing things for the business. But the problem is TNA, or Impact Wrestling. Dixie Carter decided to focus too much on Hogan. Hogan brings in his daughter, Brooke Hogan. She becomes a focal point. When you have all this phenomenal talent, no pun intended to AJ Styles. Tonight was about whether Hulk Hogan would stay or would he leave. It's a work, but is it really? Let's jump right into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Styles comes to the ring, and AJ Styles basically states that he will be the World Heavyweight Champion. He's not under contract with TNA, so he basically says he's all in. He's extremely hungry. He hasn't seen the title in well over a year. And obviously, he hasn't had a title shot in over a year because of the stipulation for the match he had about a year ago, where when he lost, he couldn't basically fight for the title for a whole year. While he's talking in the ring, putting himself over basically, and he also challenges Bully Ray. And he basically tells Bully Ray that he will defeat Bully Ray. Bully Ray comes to the ring with Brooke Tessmacher, and Bully Ray says that that Dixie is in AJ's head. That's all AJ Styles is thinking about. And AJ Styles basically says, you know what, Bully Ray, you are the same as Dixie Carter. You take people, you use people, and after you suck them dry, you get rid of it. Bully Ray says he's basically sick and tired of hearing AJ chants, and of course an AJ chant breaks out. And Bully Ray says after Bound for Glory, it's all going to be over, because Bully Ray beat him before. Well, AJ Styles basically informs Bully that tonight he's going to have a match with Samoa Joe. Joe's going to kill you. Well, we'll find out later on in the evening. We move on. We have Dixie Carter backstage with AJ Styles, and Dixie Carter basically tells security to throw AJ Styles into the building, but AJ Styles says, you know, I'm tired of this. I'm going to leave by myself. AJ Styles leaves the building. We have Kenny King and Chris Sabin versus Manik and Jeff Hardy. Now, this was actually a pretty decent match. During the match, Kenny King actually gets split open again, a lot of blood. And towards the end of the match, we have Manik, who basically hits his finisher. Jeff Hardy goes to the top rope, hits the Swanton Bomb for the 1-2-3 on Kenny King. Manik and Jeff Hardy go over Kenny King and Chris Sabin. Now, here is the really cool part. Now, when I was watching this match, I was saying to myself, believe it or not, I said, damn, you know, Jeff Hardy's never gone for the X Division Championship. That would be cool. I think Jeff Hardy would actually help elevate that X Division title, bring a couple of notches higher. Well, Austin Aries comes into the ring. After the match, Austin Aries or Chris Sabin attacks Manik from behind, and then obviously he runs off when Austin Aries, who was ringside doing commentary, decided to help him out. Austin Aries challenged Chris Sabin to a four-way between himself, Austin Aries, Chris Sabin, Jeff Hardy, and Manik. Well, Jeff Hardy actually comes into the ring. He takes the mic, and he actually challenges everyone. Yes, Ultimate X, ladies and gentlemen, Ultimate X. I am extremely excited to see these four talents in the ring for the X Division Championship. Now, my question to you guys here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube/OneWrestling video, and I ask you to leave a comment here below. Would Jeff Hardy make an amazing X Division champion? I think he would. I think Jeff Hardy would be a phenomenal, and I keep using that word, but I think he would be a fantastic X Division champion. And again, you know, with Jeff, you have so many people in the world title picture. I think Jeff Hardy, this would be a perfect place for Jeff Hardy. Again, helping elevate that title, putting a title on him, giving him a spotlight, and putting him in matches where he can actually show off his physical attributes. I think it'd be fantastic. So Jeff Hardy, I think, would go over as the X Division champion, but again, it's wrestling. We don't know what's going to happen. Backstage, we have Hulk Hogan with Sting, and Hulk Hogan actually is talking to Sting, and he says, look, brother, after 35 years, dude, you know, this is going to be a very difficult decision. I've been through everything. He talks about how horrible Eric Bischoff was and how Eric Bischoff turned on him, and he gets a gift. He gets a watch from Dixie Carter. Is it a retirement watch? I guess we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, Magnus told Sting that he wanted all 3 members of Ego, which he actually gets. It was Daniels, Kaz, and Bobby Roode one-on-one. It was a gauntlet match, basically, versus Magnus. The first person he faced was Daniels, and Daniels tried the best moonsault ever, which is actually a phenomenal moonsault. And I keep using the same damn word, but it was a great moonsault. And, well, he basically gets a boot to the face. Magnus then hits the Magnus driver for the 1-2-3. So Magnus goes over Daniels, then Kaz comes into the ring, and he actually tries for a fade to black, but basically Magnus sunset flips out of that, reverses it. He actually puts Kaz in the cloverleaf, and guess what? Kaz taps out. So then we have Bobby Roode. Now, Bobby Roode is making his way really, really, really slowly to the ring. Well, Bobby Roode basically stalling while Kaz comes into the ring, clips Magnus from behind, taking out the already injured leg of Magnus. Then Bobby Roode slowly comes into the ring and proceeds to work on that injured leg. Bobby Roode ending up putting Magnus in the ankle lock, locking it in, and Magnus could do nothing more than tap out. Now, towards the end of that, after the end of the match, Magnus basically just flipped out. He was angry. He was throwing chairs. Sting comes into the ring, and Sting basically says, look, you know, calm down. Let's go back there. You know, you're doing this all in public. Let's go backstage and talk about it. And Magnus, again, another really, really good promo. If you haven't seen the Can-Am Connection show at TNA Mecca, check out our last show, episode 2. We talk about the excellent promos that we've seen week after week after week in TNA. And Magnus basically states that, look, man, you know, I always get this close. I was one match away from getting the main event at Bound for Glory, this close. And Sting proceeds to talk about how he was made in the ring by Ric Flair. Eventually, Magnus, you will get there. Well, Magnus says, well, who's going to make me? And Sting says, I'm going to make you. Sting challenges Magnus at Bound for Glory. What do you guys think about this? I want you guys to really leave your comment below. I was actually looking forward to seeing Magnus versus Bobby Roode at Bound for Glory, but they're going to go a different direction. They're going to have Sting. Now, is Sting at that level where having a great match with him at this point in juncture in his career, that he can actually put someone over and make them famous like The Undertaker used to do back in the WWE? Only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know what you guys think. We're going to move on backstage. We have Austin Aries, and Austin Aries goes to Hulk Hogan, gives him some vitamins, brother, and tells him that he should say some prayers, dude, because he has basically a big decision to make. And Austin Aries makes a really good point. He says, you know, there are 2 Hulk Hogans. There's a red Hulk Hogan, red and yellow Hulk Hogan, and the black and white Hulk Hogan. I think this decision is very, very easy. There's no gray. We need to see the black and white Hulk Hogan. Backstage also, we have Ego with my favorite tag team of all time. Well, not of all time. One of my favorite tag teams right now in wrestling, and that's Bad Influence. We have Ego, and they're all celebrating backstage. You know, they're celebrating basically Magnus's loss. And Daniels explains to Bobby Roode that he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Extraordinary Gentleman's Hall of Fame, whatever the hell that is. He'll be inducted next week TNA Impact. We move on, ladies and gentlemen. Brooke Tessmacher versus Velvet Sky. And the winner of this match would face ODB at Bound for Glory. Well, the match was about to begin, and out of nowhere, Lei'D Tapa for the Isle of Samoa comes into the ring, and by the way, Brooke Tessmacher bailed out of the ring. Velvet Sky decided to fight, and that was probably one of the biggest mistakes she ever made in her life. Lei'D Tapa, when I first saw her, I thought she was clumsy. I thought she was slow. I didn't like her in the ring, but it looked like maybe after some training in OVW, she might be a little something. I mean, she's definitely got a look. She's a giant woman, and she's got the pedigree. You know? So basically, Lei'D Tapa comes into the ring and just destroys Velvet Sky, hitting the Samoan drop and really making a statement. So, that would actually be a pretty good match for the TNA Knockouts title. ODB, a powerhouse, fantastic in the ring, versus that young, hungry lioness and Lei'D Tapa. I would be extremely interested to see this match go on. But anyway, we move on, and we have a video package of a gentleman coming out of an extremely expensive car. I forgot what kind of car it was. You guys can leave a comment below, let me know what that was. Coming out of the car, very, very arrogant, dressed really well. He basically called some chicks and toots, and he actually called the guy sweetheart or sweetie or something. It was ridiculous, but apparently this is Ethan, and Ethan is coming to TNA Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, if you follow me on Twitter, if you go to TNAMecca.com, and you can check out there, me and Andre Corbeil actually spoke about how we believe Ethan is that gentleman on Twitter who is Ethan HD. Andre not really impressed with Ethan HD's moveset, but I'm interested to see. It seemed like this person had a lot of charisma, and that was from the back. They didn't show his face, so I'm interested to see who this Ethan is. And you know what? Sometimes you don't have to be the best in-ring performer. Sometimes your charisma and your character can put you over in the ring. Just ask Zack Ryder in the WWE. But anyway, we're going to move on. We had another video package with the tag team champions, and it basically putting them over, Gunner and Cowboy James Storm. And again, you guys know my feelings on Cowboy James Storm. If you don't, I honestly feel that Cowboy James Storm and Gunner need to lose these tag team titles. We need to get the Cowboy James Storm back into the world title picture. Cowboy James Storm is getting really, really cold, and I'm kind of forgetting about him. And Gunner has a good look, but he doesn't do it for me. As a tag team, I was never really into them. So I think they need to move on from this tag team. Again, my opinion. So finally, we have technically the main event of the evening. So it's Samoa Joe versus Bully Ray. Towards the end of the match, we have Samoa Joe who reverses an Irish whip, or gets reversed. Bully Ray actually tossing Samoa Joe into the referee. Now, Samoa Joe then basically puts Bully Ray into the rear naked choke. Bully Ray actually taps out to the rear naked choke, but there's no referee. Well, while Samoa Joe's trying to revolve Earl Hebner, Bully Ray reaches into his tights and gets the chain. Now, Bully Ray basically comes off the top rope, or if I believe the second rope, and knocks the living crap out of Samoa Joe, but the referee caught him. Well, Bully Ray and Samoa Joe goes over the DQ. Now, Bully Ray is not very happy. Bully Ray then proceeds to attack Samoa Joe outside the ring, exposing the concrete and setting Samoa Joe, for a pile driver outside, old school wrestling, outside the ring. Well, when he's about to execute the pile driver, you have AJ Styles, who makes the save. AJ Styles diving from the crowd onto Bully Ray, then running away from security, jumping into the fans, or into the seats, Lambeau Field style, and celebrating with the fans. It's going to be really interesting, and I can't wait. I actually feel that AJ Styles is going to go over and finally win that TNA World title. I think it's about time. Bully Ray has been a great heel champion, but it's time to maybe change things up, and what's old is new again. I like to see AJ Styles hold on to that TNA World Championship. So now, this is the main event of the evening. Dixie Carter comes into the ring, and Dixie Carter basically, in that condescending Southern style voice, she comes and says, I understand, that you don't understand business. You know, I understand business. You guys don't have no money. You don't understand business. Well, there was somebody that understands business, and she calls Hulk Hogan to the ring, and basically she makes a proposal to Hulk Hogan saying that they should be basically like a power couple. I guess screw each other and run the company. It was weird. And Hulk Hogan basically says, look, man, after 35 years, it would be awesome. You know, you have a lot of power in this company. You know, we could rule the world together, dude, brother. And Hulk Hogan quits. And Dixie Carter does something that I was like, what? Dixie Carter starts to beg and plead and grovel and grab at Hulk Hogan's leg. Why? It's heel Dixie. Finally, Hulk Hogan pulls away and walks away. And Dixie just starts, I never needed you. Ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Hogan, from what I'm understanding, what I'm reading, is gone from TNA Wrestling. Are you guys happy about this, ladies and gentlemen? What has Hulk Hogan meant to you as a fan? What has Hulk Hogan meant to TNA Wrestling? Again, I started off with my personal opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us here every single week at OneWrestling.com. YouTube /OneWrestling Video. You can follow us on Twitter at OneWrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Please subscribe. I always say this. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your comments here below. Again, it's going to be really interesting next week. I'm really excited, looking forward to Bound for Glory. And again, guys, you can catch me and Andre Corbeil at www.tnamecca.com for our weekly show every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. The Can-Am Wrestling Show, where we talk all things TNA. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week. Peace.